We know Joe Burrow is good, but is he special? Hi again, everyone. I'm James Rapien with allbengals.com and Cincinnati Bengals talk. And Bengals offensive line coach Frank Pollack, well, he would say he's both. The 23-year veteran of coaching and playing, Frank Pollack, saying that Joe Burrow reminds him of another Joe.
I don't coach quarterbacks, but I know he's damn good, and I'm excited that I'm coaching the O-line for him. He's an incredible, talented guy, but more importantly, he's got an aura about him. He reminds me of a lot of Montana, having played with that guy, his swagger, and then kind of when he makes a statement, guys listen to everything he says, and he's deadly, man. So we got to do our part and give that guy all the time that he needs to make those great plays, and which he's been doing. He's an outstanding athlete and a really fun guy. He's really low-key, humble guy, and he's all ball too. It's like there's nothing else but ball. And as a coach, you kind of gravitate to those kind of guys. You kind of like those kind of guys.
Now, Pollack would know firsthand, as he mentioned, he played for the San Francisco 49ers with Joe Montana for 3 seasons. And boy, oh boy, how exciting is that? Look, I get it. Joe Montana, the Super Bowls. I totally understand it. At the same time, can you imagine if the Bengals got the next Joe Montana? Someone that not only Frank Pollack, I mean, there have been other analysts that have compared him to, as in Joe Burrow, to Joe Montana. And it would be just what an exciting time it would be if that's the case. And the sign that he is special, because I asked that question at the top of this video, is he good? Or we know he's good, but is he special? A lot of you probably rolled your eyes because you think he's special. And I agree with you. I think he's different. And the reason he's so different is because of that when you try to describe him, you're like, oh, well, he's got an aura. Well, define an aura. Well, I don't really know. And in fact, Zac Taylor was asked about Pollack's comments, and he doesn't know.
There's certainly a presence about Joe that I think everyone who's ever been around him has felt. It's hard to explain. Not everybody's got it. He does. Glad he's ours.
I bet Zach's glad that they got Joe Burrow under center, who, by the way, was the FedEx Air Player of the Week for Week 4, also the AFC Offensive Player of the Week, as he tries to, make a push here for a comeback player of the year and maybe more. He's going to be put to the test this Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. And that's the next test on a long list for Burrow. I mean, think about everything, all the hurdles, everything he's had to go through over the past year plus, and not just the injury, but the pressure on your shoulders of trying to uplift a franchise. And he always dismisses it, but I think it's legitimate. And speaking of legitimate, if the Bengals want to legitimize their 3-1 record, they're going to have a good showing against the Green Bay Packers. And as I mentioned on our live stream on Tuesday night, we can no longer carry, due to NFL rules, not Bengals rules, NFL rules, full press conferences. But one thing I asked Frank Pollack about was to recall and think back to his 3-1 team, because the last time he was in Cincinnati was the last time the Bengals, oddly enough, started 3-1. Now, things didn't end the way that team wanted to in 2018, and he didn't really mention any differences, but I did go on to ask him if he can use that experience or just his experience in the league in general. Again, 15 plus years coaching, 8 years as a player, to tell his guys, like, look, you might be 3-1, but you haven't arrived yet.
If you don't come out to play on any given week, you're going to get your ass handed to you. I mean, that's just the players and coaches on the other sideline are too good. I mean, I had a great mentor of mine. You probably would know who that may be. Told me that success is poison. You got to spit it out. It's just as much as failure. You got to just box it all out, keep your blinders on, and just go. And at the end of the year, you look up. You don't change. You work, you grind, and you don't worry about all the noise. We don't control the wins and loss records per se. What we do control is the process and how we work every day. That's what we got to focus on. All that other stuff just takes care of itself, and hopefully it works out on the side we want it to. But what I coach, the O-line, got to stay focused on all what's what I call the master of the mundane. It's the boring stuff that wins in this league. And when someone flinches and makes a mistake because you're executing the boring, mundane stuff, you make a difference. You split a big run, or you pop a big pass, or it's just executing ball plays. It's the assembly line worker not falling asleep at that 1,000th beer bottle that you're supposed to cap, Laverne and Shirley opener, and then you're getting sleepy and it goes by you. You can't miss that. And that's, you did 1,000 right, but it's the 1,001 that made the difference. You know what I mean? It's that kind of a mindset. And it takes someone who's mentally tough enough to be able to grind through that. And that's something I always harp on and always remind guys. And hopefully we can keep our focus and take that approach.
I could listen to Frank Pollack talk all damn day. I really could. He is such a treat in the passion he spoke with there, and just the desire. You see it, and that part of it is infectious. Much like Joe Burrow's confidence, and that aura is infectious, and it just infects every player on the roster. I think the same thing with Frank Pollack in that offensive line room. Certainly, he's had an impact on Joe Mixon in the running back room, and that's so exciting to me. To me, Frank Pollack's news conference was the highlight of Wednesday, and so while we can't bring you all of them in their entirety, we're going to kind of do something like this where we're giving you the best clips that we can bring. And to me, anytime Joe Burrow gets Joe Montana comparisons, you take it and you run with it and you play it for the people. Plus, Zac Taylor, not a bad answer there as well. And then finally, the intensity. You want to know why the offensive line looks better? Did you hear that, man? I might line up at center if he needed me to. Now, the Bengals won't want that because I'm about $180, maybe $185 if I have a heavy meal beforehand, or too many Built Bars after dinner, or maybe even before dinner. But you get my drift. Either way, Frank Pollack, he makes you want to run through a wall, and it's no coincidence. The last time the Bengals were 3-1, and now the Bengals 3-1 again. Frank Pollack has something to do with that. Not everything, not all. It's not him. Don't crown him MVP or anything like that. But he certainly made an impact for this offense, an offense that I think is just scratching the surface of its potential. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button because, look, we already had today the latest injury news from Bengals practice. We're going to continue to keep you up to date on that, all of the other news. So whether it's Joe Mixon's health, Jesse Bates, any other injuries, hit that subscribe button here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk, and we'll be back at Paul Brown Stadium on Thursday. The only reason these weren't recorded at the stadium, it was raining, and I didn't want to mess up my hair. So until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. I'm James Rapien, and I'll talk to you soon.